Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fashion Rack. So today we're gonna upcycle a shirt, like a white kind of men's shirt. We are sort of in the easy, super simple, super stunning upcycle era, which means we're not gonna use the sewing machine. We're only gonna do some hand sewing. And it's gonna be a little bit in the vibe of what we're lately doing with this hand stitching, like here. Just make a corset shirt, loosely inspired by this Dion Lee. I love everything Dion Lee. I have to say this design, I feel like it's not even like really an original, real Dion Lee design, because I've definitely seen similar shirts elsewhere. So this is a white linen shirt, and I'm actually not the hugest fan of linen. Look more wrinkled than your grandmother after 1 hour of work. Then I found this in my cabinet. It's like an ironing spray, and it's supposed to keep your clothing longer in shape.
Is this the magic pill we've all been waiting for? Well, if it actually works against wrinkles, promise you I'll drink it. Spoiler alert, I'm still wrinkled, only close to hospitalized. You might as well skip the ironing altogether at this stage. Before we start, we gotta do some mise en place. In the case your shirt has like a breast pocket, remove it. It will be much in the way. So I take my old friend the seam ripper. On my channel we love a little cinematic. Clothing fabrics like this, don't you dare visit your house with my seam ripper. And what I would recommend is a little stitch to get in between the pocket and the shirt. You only pick up a few of the stitches, not towards the seam. Only move the seam ripper away from the fabric, as the blade of the seam ripper can damage the fabric this way. It wouldn't be the fashion rack if we didn't have a life hack. Remove all of those annoying little scraps of thread that are still sticking in the shirt with one simple swipe of your dust roller. Okay, it didn't work that well.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Hope is the most fabulous of hope. We're gonna have a little bit of a mirror moment. We're gonna take one measurement, I think. Therefore, you want to angle your measuring tape out of the mess. Basically, take your waist measurement. And the waist measurement is normally the smallest part of your torso. But I think if you are more straight or curvy, you just have to still take it somewhere around the belly button, a little bit above it. You still want to be able to breathe, so maybe take it with a little bit of filled lung. Look in the mirror that's going straight around and sort of the middle of the corset. If you bend, it gets wider too. So take into account that you stand up sort of straight. Okay, let's say 79. I mean, I don't think this has to be a corset that's gonna be super, super tight. I'm gonna write that down because my memory is like the memory of a goldfish. Then I have this shirt. Close it for a minute. The only corset shirt. That seems like what I can see, they have 3 lines of boning on each side on the front and 2 in the back, which I think is a reasonable sort of design. But you can always choose differently, but it's gonna be important for the next steps to know what you want. So I'm gonna grab my pins out of the mess and basically indicate where I took the measurement at which height of the shirt, so that we know where the waist is in the shirt. That was my belly button. Where is it a button? No, that's the belly button. So it was a little bit above that. Always go around search the smallest part if you really forgot where you took the measurement. And then I'm also already wanting to indicate more or less until what height I want to have my boning. So in this shirt, they go from a little bit larger to a little bit smaller on the side. If you want a bit more of a streamlined shape. And the pleating is still gonna go up, but the boning, I think it should at least be under the breast, a little bit higher than the rib cage, and do sort of what you like, let's say. Doesn't have to be too precise. We're still all gonna check it out later if we like it. Just gonna roughly place a pin each line of boning, so that I think I like this. I'm just gonna do one panel, okay, and then we can copy it to the other side. Back side we can't pin like this. So I guess I'm just gonna, oh no, I'm pinning the 2 layers together. So we're gonna be the backwards man.
And the backwards man. I can work backwards fast as you can. I can work backwards fast as you can. Dad, what?
Pretending my front side is my back side, and a little bit weird. Just to have an idea where to place our boning. I kind of forgot we have to probably also already put a pin where we want the boning to stop.
Alright, beginning of the boning, ending of the boning, check, check, check. And this pin indicates the waist. We want to measure the whole circumference of the waist of the shirt. So we basically need a line all around that is as straight as possible. But we can't measure from the bottom up. The bottom ain't straight. But in a straight shirt like this, you can place an an angled ruler against the front edge for a straight line. You don't have to draw an actual line onto the shirt. You can also just place a pin or make a little marking at the side seam, just so you know you're measuring straight around the shirt. I don't want to get too technical, but gets technical, because you might not realize this, but the middle of the shirt is the middle of the button or the buttonhole and not the edge of the fabric. So when you measure the circumference, you measure from middle of the button to buttonhole and not from edge to edge, which could actually result in the corset shirt being too tight in the end. So then you add your back measurement and 2 times your front measurement, as in left and right, together to get the total circumference.
Hi children, welcome to the math class.
Not gonna be hard. Even I can do this. Just one hot tip, do it right, because we still want to fit in it later. So we measured our own waist circumference, in my case 79. The desired width is gonna be 79. We measured the circumference of the shirt, which was 119 in my case. Basically I'm gonna distract my waist from the shirt to see what's the difference. New brain cells that I have just black out when they see numbers nowadays. 40 difference we have to take out in the waist to make it fitting to my waist. Now you're gonna count how much boning you're planning to add. 3 bonings on each side on the front, which is 6 added together, trying to have everyone on the same page, have everyone understand. 2 on the back on each side, so that's 4 in total. 6 plus 4 is 10 bonings. Just gonna take the same width out in every boning. We can simply divide the 40 centimeters that we have through the 10 bonings that we're planning to add. Each boning we have to take out 4 centimeters. We're gonna fold the fabric, but that basically is fold of 2 centimeters. That's how easy it is.
A lot of boring math later.
Then I'll draw the lines on there where the boning comes. A good aim is to keep the lines straight, parallel to the middle front. Then I was trying to think of the most efficient and most precise way to get these lines exactly the same on the other side too. So I came up with this idea to pin the front sides together so that they are exactly on top of each other. Lining up the side seams, the front, armhole, shoulders, add some extra weight in the form of dogs that don't want to sit still. Then stick pins through at the marked line so they can transfer the markings to the other side. All in all, I think we can safely conclude this might not have been the most efficient way, but okay, it might also not have been the most precise way. But did you have a better? Okay, you might have had a better idea. Well, start your own channel. For the back side, somewhat of a similar strategy, folding the shirt exactly in the middle. At least I try. Lining up the side seams and armholes as good as possible again. But now we can create the lines parallel to the fold and use pins to transfer the markings to the other side in the same way.
Surprise, surprise, maybe it's all not that super simple as I planned it to be. Then we calculated that we're gonna get 2 centimeters out there, but not like in the top or in the bottom, but exactly where we measured around the waist. This is where I still have this 1 pin. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Search where my pleat is supposed to come, and then around the waist, where I still have my pin. There we're gonna get 2 centimeters out, or well actually 4 centimeters per pleat. That's a fold of 2 centimeters. Well. You can see there's a nice shape to the shirt now and the waist. I already get the feeling I have to hold my breath a little bit, but I guess that's the idea of a corset. What you want to pay attention to is, point 1, you still want to be able to breathe. Point 2, there shouldn't be too much tension here on this button at the waist. If you want to make it less tight, you can make the pleats a little bit smaller. Make sure to do it on both sides the same. Not really sure what happened in the back, because when I look like this, it does not look the same as when I look like this. So I have to check that, but I think the width is fine. We want to go into the pleats. I'm gonna take the shirt off now underneath, because otherwise I'm gonna pin the 2 layers together and it's gonna be so annoying again. Stand a little bit straight when you pin. Then... So now we're gonna pin in the entire pleat, at least on the front. And I know we just spent a lot of time making the perfect markings, but now we're forgetting about them a little bit. I know, sounds a bit like it doesn't really make sense. I guess that's only because it doesn't really, well, make sense. Our main goal here is we want some pleasing looking pleats, please. Therefore, we gotta take the artistic freedom that we need, so that we're gonna pin in our pleat as nicely as possible. It will sort of depend on the shape of your body, but for me, the pleats will gradually get smaller when I go up or down. I guess the most important to avoid getting too close to the armhole, because I feel like that might get a little unflattering. And now I was actually glad that I made the markings before, because although some of the pleats went slightly off center,
center. The markings did really enable me to check if the shirt was still symmetrical, basically checking on each side how much the pleat was getting away from the marking, and if it differed, just adjusting the pleat ever so slightly to make it more symmetrical. And I'm gonna mark out my pleats, so exactly where the pins are sticking through. And I do this on the side that's gonna fold under, not to have to erase so many markings when the shirt is done. Especially important if you're using an ordinary drawing pencil, which you shouldn't, but no comment. When I'm done with making the markings, I'm gonna readjust my pins, sticking them in horizontally, just so it enables me to go in with my ruler, really make sure I can draw a nice and smooth line. Connecting all my markings nicely and really starting and ending where I want the bone exactly to start and end. I'm gonna use this really thick crochet yarn. I feel like when we're gonna put all that effort, blood, sweat and hopefully not tears into hand sewing this corset, might as well show off that it's hand sewn. But if you want something more subtle, go away. Just kidding. Just take a machine sewing thread. I think I might have spent as much time threading the needle as sewing the whole shirt. Just saying, you might want to check your needle stash beforehand. Then I'm first gonna hand sew the pleats in exactly over the marking. And if you've never ever hand sewn before, it's okay. Nothing to be ashamed about. We can't all be perfect. What? I wasn't talking about myself this time. You got me. However, if you want some more tips and tricks, you might want to check out the Bob Mop back tutorial. That's like super duper beginner. So yeah, guys, nowadays it's not that much Netflix and chill anymore. It's more like podcasts and so. Anyways, I forgot to mention on the back side we're doing more of a guessing game. We couldn't really pin it that well on ourselves, so I just pinned in the pleats flat on the table, then fitted the shirt to see if it fits well and repinned a little bit. One last check, all the pleats are hand sewn, so it better be right. Time for the, you guessed it. I almost don't want to say this word anymore because I feel like I've said it one too many times today.
I got bones.
So for boning, I'm actually gonna use just tie wrap. Is that the best material to choose for this project? I really don't know. A few times I made a corset with boning from the sewing store. I hated that stuff, man. It bended weirdly and it was also very sharp around the edges. So when it's exactly the right size, just as long as the stitch line, I'm gonna shovel it in. I'm actually using 2 tie wraps per pleat just to make it extra strong. I want to enclose them by closing the pleat with a hand stitch, this time very strong small hand stitches, going up and down a few times so that the boning will not pop out somewhere once we are wearing it. Hey, look there, a bird. Okay, I'll tell you, but keep it for yourself. I'm just gonna cheat a little because this upcycled corset is already taking much longer than I expected. I'm gonna close the rest of the pleats on the machine just by sewing a few times up and down. Finally, and when I say finally, I mean finally, I'm gonna fold the pleats outwards towards the side seam and use a hand stitch to basically circle around the boning whilst also sewing down the pleat onto the shirt. And the more attentive viewer might have seen that all my knots are on the outside. You guys, I think I'm a rebel. But anyway, that's totally optional. Also just not the thread off inside for a more polished look, of course. But I feel like since my hand sewing isn't that perfect anyway, we might as well put some intention behind it.
Of course, you have made some New Year's resolution. Well, what if I told you the biggest New Year's resolution is one click away? Subscribe to my channel to learn something new this year.
To support the channel, like the video or leave a comment, share it with your friends. Thank you for watching, thank you for watching. And I shall see you in another tutorial, hopefully.
If you like these hand sewing videos, check out my last videos, the Bob Mop bag or the blazer that I wore in this video.